It's time for Real Estate 101 with the Karey Brown team from Realty Executives Preferred Advisors.
Good morning. This is Karey Brown. I'm broker owner of Realty Executives Preferred Advisors, and you're listening to Real Estate 101. I'm here today with Josh Beach, and he's from Carpet One. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Karey.
We're going to be talking about all kinds of great things that Carpet One has to offer and some of the new products that they have out. First off, Josh, tell me the story of Carpet One.
So, Carpet One has over 1,000 stores worldwide. Where it's the largest flooring organization, and most of these stores are independently owned and operated. They are part of a global conglomerate, and our particular Carpet One is owned by a company called Cap Carpet. Our headquarters are in Wichita, Kansas. They have 13 other stores, and we're actually the 15th largest flooring company in the entire nation.
And you guys are located at 5131 Southwest 29th Street?
Yes, that's right at 29th and Fairlawn.
And their phone number, just in case you want to go ahead and give them a call, is 785-380-2269.
No, that's not. Well, I guess that would be the internet phone number.
Okay. So scratch that. Their phone number, and in case you want to go and give them a call, is 785-273-1402. And so let's talk about estimates. Do you guys charge for that?
No, we don't charge anything for estimates.
Okay. And I was reading online, you guys have a new carpet, or I don't know if it's new necessarily, but it's a carpet that looked pretty interesting. Is it Tigressa?
Yeah, Tigressa has been around for a long time, but the Tigressa H2O comes with a waterproof backing. It's really specifically designed for people with pets, and lots of people have pets, and they usually will cause issues with the carpet. So it's really, really cool to have the ability to make sure that if there is an accident that takes place, it's not going to soak down underneath the carpet and get into the pad. It's going to stay on top. You can clean it and get it 100% cleaned up, and they actually put a lifetime warranty on that, and they call it the 3P warranty, and I can let people figure out what that is.
That sounds like it'd also be good for kids.
Oh, absolutely. Very, very stain resistant. And the other thing that a lot of people wouldn't notice necessarily about that carpet is just the way that it's built. It is definitely a premium carpet. It has a 10 gauge yarn, so it's twisted a lot tighter. Heat set yarn is going to prevent matting and crushing, and it's going to be incredibly durable. To put it simply, it's a commercial carpet in residential form. I mean, it's top of the line.
Also, we were talking a little bit before the break on the hardwoods or the new flooring that you guys have out. Tell us a little bit about that.
So, as Cap Carpet, we inventory many hardwoods. We also inventory some new products called Core-Tech. We have a tile stocking program, but the Core-Tech is what I'd really like to touch base on, and it's a new product. Essentially, it's a vinyl plank with a core built into it that's 100% waterproof. They brand it as a waterproof floor. It has a cork backing on the back. It's incredibly comfortable to walk on. Very, very durable. You can get it that will look like hardwood, or you can get it to look like tile. And it snaps and locks and goes right over top of any subfloor. So in a lot of situations where a subfloor may be in disrepair or need a lot of floor prep, that Core-Tech is a very, very good alternative because it's so cost effective, total installed cost. Customers can't believe how inexpensive it is compared to other products that they could get, and not to mention the fact of everything it will do as far as it's easy to maintain and it's durable, incredibly scratch resistant. It's just a great product all around.
So let's talk about your beautiful guarantee.
Oh, the beautiful guarantee. Yeah. And that's, that's going to be on select carpets. And a large portion of our carpets will have it. Carpet One has a metal program. So any carpet that has a titanium warranty, Lee's would be a good example of that. We'll have a 25-year wear, 25-year texture retention, a lifetime stain, lifetime soil, lifetime installation, but also has a 120-day beautiful guarantee. And the beautiful guarantee is just a guarantee that you'll love the way it looks If you don't absolutely love it for any reason, because you don't like the color, or maybe it shows footprints and you didn't want that, you can have a one-time replacement, and we will install you a new carpet for you at no charge, a carpet of equal value. If you wanted to pick something more expensive, you would have to pay the difference, of course. But the only charge that a customer would incur during a beautiful guarantee would be furniture moving, if the installers would have to go back and move furniture. So, and we don't do a lot of those, but when we do them, it's really, really nice, because, you know, a lot of people have spent their hard-earned money, and if they're not happy with what they bought, we have a one-time opportunity to make it right and get them something they'll be happy with.
So, Josh, how long have you been at Carpet One?
So I've worked for Carpet One for almost 4 years now. It'll be 4 years in September.
If someone were to come into the showroom and they asked for you, do you go through all the products with them, or what do you do for Carpet One exactly?
Yes, typically, I'm a consultant there on the floor. So you'll walk in, I'll come up, I'll say, hi, how are you doing? And try to figure out exactly what you're in the market for, because a lot of times people come in and they don't necessarily know. They know that the carpet in their living room needs to go, but you know, they're still undecided. Maybe they're assuming they're going to put carpet back down, but sometimes we'll find that another product, such as maybe hardwood or something like that, may be actually a better fit for their home and for their lifestyle.
So when someone comes in and they say, well, I need new carpet, and I know whenever we were looking, we didn't really figure in pad. I mean, we kind of knew that we needed to, but we didn't know the importance of it. And I understand that there are multiple different sizes of pad. What is your recommendation on that?
Well, it's for some reason in our store, it seems really, really easy just to sell the Tempur-Pedic cushion. We have a new premium cushion that we just started inventorying. We buy this stuff by the truckload, but it's 30 seconds thick, and it's almost a 10-pound foam pad with a dual moisture barrier, and it's also equipped with the antimicrobial that's built right into it, so it'll prevent mold and mildew from growing on the cushion or underneath of it. But the best part about it is the fact that it's made out of Tempur-Pedic memory foam, and it's super, super dense. So when you're looking at a carpet pad, you don't actually want something that's soft and cushy. You want something that's firm, that will deflect the impact of steps, of a lot of steps, especially in the high traffic zones. So, but most people will choose that one. It is a very, very good cushion, absolutely the best one on the market. So,
I know whenever we redid my office, one of the contractors told me that if you want the carpet to wear better, you need to really focus on your pad.
Absolutely. You know, and there's some misconceptions with that. People will come in the store and they will say, you know, I've heard that, you know, it doesn't matter what carpet you get, you just put a good pad under it. You know, that I would tell you is not really true to any extent, because, you know, there's entry-level products in every flooring category. And, you know, I would just recommend you put if you go with a decent pad or a decent carpet on a good cushion, you'll be a lot happier than probably a nice carpet on a cheap cushion. So that would be the only truth to that, is what a lot of people are coming in, and it's a preconceived idea. But most people have the understanding that get the best cushion and you're going to be a lot happier with the investment down the road.
Yeah, so you can get an expensive cushion, but if you get really, really cheap carpet,
it's still going to look like cheap carpet, because you're not going to see the cushion, but you will feel it, and that part will feel nice. But as far as, you know, if the carpet's not thick enough to, you know, it could still mat and crush pretty easy.
That makes total sense. So vinyl has a lot of new products out. It's not your grandmother's vinyl anymore. Tell me a little bit about that.
So most of the vinyl that's being sold today is actually, you know, it's called glass back. It's made out of fiberglass and PVC. And it's incredibly durable. And my recommendation when going with a vinyl is, you know, basically just make sure that it has a good wear layer on it. If you just get a urethane wear layer, you're gonna be opening yourself up to, you know, seeing scratches and scuffs and stuff like that. But they'll put, you know, either aluminum oxide or like a microscopic ceramic bead into that finish. Makes it a lot more durable. But most of the stuff being sold today, at least out of our store, I could say, is the fiberglass, and it's really, really good quality, and it's going to last a long time.
So different types of hardwoods. I know we've had clients multiple times say, well, what kind should we go with? We really like the look of hardwood. several have not necessarily been the biggest fans of laminate, but I've seen some really nice ones. Tell me what would be your pick or suggestions.
Well, hardwood versus laminate, I would usually probably steer people toward hardwood. Quite frankly, I think it's a better product, but again, you got to make sure it's a good one. So at Cap Carpet, which is our corporate headquarters in Wichita, we stock about 40 different hardwoods, and we don't really have any entry level products. They're all excellent quality with aluminum oxide finishes. As far as laminate goes, I'm telling you that I would tell you, in my opinion, it looks like that market is shrinking. It's being replaced by vinyl planks, and products like the Cortec just seem to meet more needs, and it doesn't cost a whole lot more to do that. And in some cases, it'll even cost less.
I noticed, and a lot of people when they first came out, you can tell that they don't necessarily wear that well. The old style laminates.
Yeah,
didn't seem to.
Well, and I would tell you the laminate, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, Karey, laminate 20 years ago was actually probably better than the laminate that's being made today as far as durability and moisture resistance. But I think that it's a product that's kind of been a race to the cheapest as far as it's been cheapened by the industry, trying to get that price down below a couple bucks. But also 20 years ago it cost a lot more than what it does now too. So
yeah, well, nothing cheap is
cheaper's usually not better.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, we usually try to focus on something that's a really good value.
So if you have pets and you're looking for hardwoods, their nails tend to scratch things up, or you have small kids, they're hard on pretty much anything.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're super cute, which lets them get away with it, but still, they're still hard on the floors. What would you recommend as far as hardwoods, as far as durability with the animals and things along those lines?
And if we're talking actual hardwood, I would usually steer people towards something that's hand scraped, because the one thing with wood, it's a natural product and it's definitely going to scratch over time. That's just a characteristic of it, and they put the finishes on it to prevent that as much as possible. But eventually you're going to have a scratch, and if you have a hand scraped hardwood, then you're going to be a lot less upset the first time you get that first scratch in your new wood floor. But the engineered wood is the way I typically steer people as well, because it doesn't expand and contract. It's going to be a lot more dimensionally stable over time.
Okay. We'll be right back after the break. Thanks for joining us at Real Estate 101. We'll see you back here in just a few with Josh Beach.
They just told us right away that we're going to house you, we're going to feed you, and every single one of his medical bills is just all taken care of.
They've saved my family from financial ruin. It allowed me and my wife both to focus on the most important thing, which was the health and well-being of our son.
We have phenomenal research, outstanding clinical care, and the generosity of public, which allow us to treat patients regardless of what it takes. And that's what makes St. Jude so magical.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food, because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Doctors send us the toughest cases to be treated at St. Jude, and our patients come from all over the world.
When we come here, they told me, don't worry, everything's being taken care of.
We could never repay St. Jude for what they've given us.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
And we're back. I'm Karey Brown, broker owner of Realty Executives Preferred Advisors, and you're listening to Real Estate 101. I'm back with Josh Beach with Carpet One, and we were just talking about hardwood floors and pets and all that good stuff. So basically, tell me more about the carpet warranties and how those work.
So carpet warranties are can be kind of tricky. So you want to make sure that you get all the information from wherever you buy it. If you buy it from me, we give you a little folder and we'll put warranty information in it, and you want to follow that. So, but pretty much every single carpet manufacturer out there will require that you clean the carpet. They have it cleaned by a professional, and that's really important. And you want to keep your receipts to prove that you do that. And they'll typically require it every 18 months. And you just want to keep your receipt And that way, if you ever have an issue, you have all your documentation there in one place, where you bought the carpet, and that you had it, cleaned by a professional that used a hot water extraction machine. You typically going to be truck mounted.
So the biggest thing I know we were talking about earlier was to make sure that the shampoo gets out of the carpet. What does it do if the shampoo's left in?
Yeah, and typically this will be something if someone goes and rents a rug doctor or something, and maybe they don't know what they're doing or whatnot. If they clean the carpet and they leave some of that soap behind, that could definitely cause some soiling or something like that. So that's why we definitely would recommend, and the manufacturers require, that it's done by a professional. Because if you leave that soap behind, soil will have a tendency to stick to it, and you'll end up with a little bit darker spots.
So tell me about the different types of products you guys have to offer.
Okay, that's a very good question. So, obviously we have carpet, basically from, top to high end. The new Tigressa H2O has been really, really popular lately. We have hardwood. We do still sell some laminate, but Cortec and vinyl plank has been probably, it's taking more of our sales are going towards those products, because they can have them installed for a similar price to carpet, usually a little bit more, but you don't have to worry, necessarily, you have a lot less to worry about with products like that down the road as far as pets are concerned, pets and small kids and stuff like that.
So we haven't talked any at all about tile. Tell me a little bit about that. So,
ceramic and porcelain tile, we sell a lot of that, and people really love it. 12 by 24s are really, really popular right now. Seeing a lot of stuff tending towards gray tones, especially in the ceramic area, just in, the pallets that I see sitting in the warehouse, and they look really, really good down. So 12 by 24 seems to be a real popular size right now, but we probably have the largest tile selection in the city of Topeka. I haven't seen a larger selection any place I've been anyhow.
Is there a difference? And notice, like, whenever you're out looking, some are thicker, some are thinner. Tell me, what is the difference there?
Well, it'll just have more clay based into it. It's more heavy duty, so a higher end tile will weigh more, but it'll cost a little bit more too. So, the one thing we found for a lot of residential applications is you don't necessarily need a commercial grade tile. A medium quality glazed porcelain or high density ceramic will do just fine in most cases.
So the thinner ones aren't necessarily a higher risk of breaking so much as...
They could be, but I would tell you, more often than not, if you drop something on that tile, it's either going to break or it's not going to break. And it would probably, what's more important that it comes down to is if it was properly installed. Because when you install tile correctly, it's an entire system. So it's not just the 3/8 of the tile. You also have the thin set and the backer board, everything to take that deflection. So I would tell you, typically my guidance would be, find the look you want and go with that. And, if we install it, we're going to do it right, and it'll be a good solid installation.
So your contractors that come out and do the installation, do they work directly for Carpet One, or they tend to be subcontractors?
Well, technically they're subcontractors, but we are different. We're a full service store, so we stand behind the work that they do in their home. We require that they carry insurance, they're licensed, they're insured, and they're certified. So, I would tell you, if you ask most of the Carpet One installers, hey, where do you work? They'll tell you they work at Carpet One. We keep them plenty busy, but technically they all own their own business. But again, we stand behind the work that they do. And if there was an issue, you don't have to track down the installer. You just call the store and we get it taken care of.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing, is because you guys do back it. I've seen it where that's not the case, and it's not always a good thing. So that's something to be proud of.
Yeah, and that's not always a bad thing, but I would tell you, it's better to err on the side of caution, I would say, in most cases.
So do you have people ask you to come out and consult as far as colors or anything like that? How does that work?
Yeah, absolutely we do. And usually that's something we'll do at the same time that we're out there. We're measuring the space, and we'll bring a selection of samples that maybe they've picked out in the store. Whether it's myself or our measure man that comes out to do the measure, but we'll bring the samples out with us. And if people have already considered, say, hey, well, I think I want this one or this one, they can choose the color for the most part. But if they need our help, we'll definitely provide that. And we have 3 interior designers, Jill Miller, Jen Davis, and Monica Parcell, and they all do really, really good work. So, usually, if they're just asking for a couple of opinions, there's not going to be any charge for that.
I know whenever we have clients that need to put in carpet or a different type of flooring, tile or whatever, we like to come and get carpet swatches to leave different options, because we always tell sellers buyers will spend their money faster than they would. So obviously they want to get an idea of what they're going to be spending. We offer a carpet allowance. We say, okay, these are 3 examples of what you can get and how much it's going to cost. And the sellers are prepared. The buyers are prepared. Obviously they can go out and look at more and decide if they want more. Same thing with tile and wood, kind of depends on what the buyer's needs are and what the seller is willing to pay for. But it really helps the buyer see, okay, well, it may look like this right now. Obviously, if we're doing that, the carpet needs to be replaced or the floors needs to be done. But it gives them a better idea of what they can have and what the finished product's going to look like.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you touched on that, because I forgot to mention, Cap has, I think, 12 different carpets. That's actually part of the putting your house on the market line, if you will, for lack of a shorter term. They're specifically designed if someone comes in and says, hey, I just, my realtor told me we're putting our house on the market, or told us that we need to replace the carpet, and we need it done ASAP. So we keep those on hand. They're in stock. And we all have to have them shipped up out of Wichita, but we can get them, 4 to 7 days, and we can be getting it installed usually within 2 weeks.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we do a lot of that, and we'll have different grades. It starts about $120 a square foot on up to about $275 on the higher end for those. If the house is out in Clarion or something like that, you're going to want to put the higher end carpet in. But for a house like a less expensive house, you don't necessarily need to put in the most expensive carpet. So
I know with sellers, I usually say, okay, here's my budget. So if they came to you and said, here's the budget, this is what I need to do, you guys would go out and measure and kind of give them an idea?
Absolutely.
Okay. And again, those are free estimates. So it's always better to have a game plan, because you don't want that. You only got one chance to make a first impression. So you always want that impression to be good, or at least have the plan together so that the buyer can see the whole picture.
Yeah.
So what are your store hours there?
So there's kind of a sliding scale. So Monday through Thursday, we're open from 9 to 7. On Fridays, we're open from 9 to 6. Saturdays, we're open from 9 to 5. And Sunday, we're open from 12 to 4.
Okay. And they're also on Facebook if you want to follow them. I checked it out. It's pretty cool. You guys have got all kinds of colors and things like that. If you just look for Carpet One Topeka, they show up. And then also they have Pinterest. And that one was really cool because it had it all broke out in different colors and different ideas. So it's like a smorgasbord of different ideas, and even decorating for that matter.
Yeah.
And if you want to look for them, they're at Carpet One FH. I'm not sure what the FH stands for, but
I'm not either.
but that's where you can find them. They also have blogs, which are pretty informational also. So you can find that on their websites. They have an inspiration section, which is very similar to the Pinterest, but it kind of lays everything out, and a lot of tutorials and things like that. So definitely go out and just Google Carpet One Topeka and they pop up. You can also stop by their store at 5131 Southwest 29th Street. Be sure and ask for Josh. Give him a call at 785-273-1402. You can also reach him on his cell phone number at 785-845-4969. And if you want to email him just to kind of get some ideas if you're bashful, It's Josh, Josh, period, Beach, Beach, at carpet1, one is spelled out, Topeka.com. So Josh, period, Beach, at carpet1topeka.com. And be sure and stop by the store and look at all the different things. It sounds like several really cool products are out.
Yeah.
Are there any others that you'd like to talk about?
Well, one thing I forgot to mention, we've actually recently remodeled our showroom, and it looks absolutely spectacular. So we've gotten about 2 phases done, and we've got one more phase we need to do. But people can come in and they can see some of our most popular tiles that are installed right on the showroom floor, some of our most popular carpets installed right on the floor. They can walk across the Tempur-Pedic cushion. Some really, really cool stuff. If they're just out and just want to stop by and just get some ideas, it's a really, really nice showroom. We also put a lifetime installation guarantee on any carpet that we install. Very, very important. So often somebody will leave the windows open overnight, and then they'll end up with a wrinkle or something like that. But the one thing I would like to say, about how when we install carpet, usually we don't have to go back out and restretch. But some of the carpets that don't have quite a nice backing, that could be a possibility that could happen. But we would actually do that at no charge, as long as we did the installation through the store. I should touch on that. But we power stretch everything, and again, we use certified installers, and we had our guys certified 2 years ago. All of our guys still work with us, so it really does make a big difference. They make us look good at the end of the day. So I just want to, that's, I think, the most important thing that a lot of people don't think about until after their installation is, who's gonna show up and do this, and we use professionals. So
yeah, we see that quite often, actually, where the carpet probably was installed by a non-professional, and the carpet starts to wrinkle, especially in doorways and
yeah, exactly. And what that'll do a lot of times, why that'll happen is you have a speed install that happens. The guys are in a hurry. They're doing it for less than market value, and they show up with a neat kicker, and they don't power stretch it. All they do is stretch it basically around the edges, and you can end up within a year's time having wrinkles all over the place. And restretching is not easy. You have to redo all the vents on the floors, and there's a lot of seaming, so that can be a very expensive process. And it's one of those things that probably just costs a little less to have it done right the first time, rather than if they have to do it over. So,
well, thank you so much for joining us today, Josh. And again, if you want to go out and see Josh, meet him at Carpet One. He's located at 5131 Southwest 29th Street here in Topeka, and I'm sure he would be happy to talk with you.
Thank you very much for having me, Karey. It was a real pleasure.
And this is Karey Brown, broker owner of Realty Executives Preferred Advisors. And if you're looking to buy or sell a house, give us a call at 785-783-4010, and we'd be happy to talk with you. Thanks, and join us again next week at Real Estate 101, where we talk with Chris Burke with Housing and Credit Counseling.
Thank you for listening to Real Estate 101 with the Karey Brown team from Realty Executives Preferred Advisors. Tune in again next Sunday at 11 o'clock for Real Estate 101.